a really traumatic event happened to me. I was at probably the lowest point in my life, as far as scaring myself and being like, oh my goodness, what is going on? I need help. I talked.
Random, and I got purpose. Things coming together so beautifully. One day, it all makes sense. Just you wait and see. Take this journey with me. Purposely random. Purposely random. Purposely random. Purposely random.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Angelise, and this is my podcast, Purposely Random, a podcast by Angelise. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for joining the podcast. We're going to be talking about things like intra and interpersonal skills development. We're going to be talking about mental health. We're going to be talking about the Black experience. We're going to be talking about pop culture, social commentary with God, and a bunch of singing here and there. So today we're going to be talking about why I left therapy. Um, as you all know, that therapy is something that I'm really big on. It is something that has been an anchoring for me these past hmm, 2.5 years, almost 3 years of my life, and especially with the pandemic, it was really helpful for me. Um, and I did a lot of work between 2020 and starting into 2021 that I'm still working on. But let's talk about why I'm rerouting. Let's get started with a theme song. Yay. Going on this journey, so scared where it might take me, but I know I gotta trust the process. I'm still making progress, though it might be a different route now. I'm gonna make it out, and I'm gonna outshine where I've been before. Oh, so let's go. Take your hand, understand that it's gonna be so much better than you think. All right, awesome. That feels like a good place to stop the song. Sorry, I'm readjusting my camera. For those, speaking of camera, go onto my YouTube channel if you want to see me. It is Angelise Music. That's music like Music Soul Child. I also have an Instagram, Purposely Random Podcast. I have a Facebook page, all of that jazz. Check it out so you can see my face, you can see my expressions, and get down with the get down every time you come around. All right, let's get into the topic at hand, and that is why I left therapy. So, like I said it in the intro, I've been going to therapy about 2.5 years. Um, a really traumatic event happened to me. I was at probably the lowest point in my life, as far as scaring myself and being like, oh my goodness, what is going on? I need help. I talked to someone and they broke up with me. It was my ex fiance. And I started to drink alcohol and take like a bunch of allergy pills. Like nothing like super extreme, but it scared me to the point where I'm like, what am I doing? Like I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to be awake. I didn't want to be present for life. So what ended up happening is um I talked to my supervisor at the time. Her name was Summer. And Summer suggested this place that helped with my situation and the core root of why this would be a good place for me to go. Because I had tried to go to therapists before, and they were like older white women. And I just remember in one of our therapy sessions, uh, I had seen her. This is my second time seeing her. She was like, "Hey, let's do a therapy where you're like laying down in a chair and you recount what happened to you." And let me just say this, if you don't have healthy coping skills and you don't learn how to deal with those things, it's going to set you back further. So, what I would really recommend if you're seeking out therapy is to go to someone that understands like healthy coping skills. And that's actually a couple of episodes we're going to be looking at again. We're going to do another mental health series, but learning healthy coping skills is key to resurfacing and learning how to reprocess all of the things that you're going to unsurface when you are going to therapy. So back going back. So she did this little like hypnosis thing to me where I just like relived the thing and felt it in my body, and it really freaked me out and set me back so far. I talked to her. I said, I don't want to continue working with you. I feel like you should have told me what was going to happen, and asked for permission to walk me through the process before just doing it. And so then after that, I ended things there. Talked to talked to my talked to my supervisor. Sorry, I'm breathing a lot. It's just a heavy topic. Um, but I talked to my supervisor. They recommended me this place, and then from there, I started to go to the place. And one of the tools that they had, it was like a group therapy where they taught you healthy coping skills, like mindfulness, like um, interpersonal skills development. They taught you um, ration, radical acceptance and things like that. So really, just ways, self compassion, ways to really help yourself and be a comfort to yourself as you are going through the process of reprocessing. So from there, boom, I spent probably about 8 months, 6 or 8 months, give or take. Wait, so I started in February to do this, and then I went to the therapy sessions until August. So the group therapy sessions until August. So y'all do the math because I ain't gonna do it off the top of my head. So we did that. And then the next thing that happened was I got matched with a therapist like around the time of my birthday. And I was like, wow, how fitting is that? How awesome is that? That I'm going to go to therapy and kind of become a new creature. And um, it's been a great, great journey. I learned so much about myself. I found my voice. I left a toxic relationship. I'm friends with that toxic person, but it's a different. I'm I'm now in a better place to set boundaries and actually stick to them, because for the longest time I would be like, well, if I say this, then they're gonna leave me, and then I'm gonna be all alone. And what does it? No, go ahead, leave me alone. Bye. Blessings to you. Peace. You're not adding to my life. You're hurting me. God, gotta go. So I'm doing that now. I'm speaking assertively. I'm doing all of these things to really take back control of my life, being empowered and standing in my value. And now I'm to a place where I am, learning how to be in relationship. Like I said in the previous episode, learning how to have a healthier relationship with the connections while I'm developing interpersonal connections. So, learning how to have a healthier relationship with connection as I'm forming interpersonal relationship. It's like I gotta be healthier about the way that I'm going about things. And I'm so excited to say that now I'm kind of in a place, and I'm not even saying kind of, I'm in a place because I've done so much work, not giving up, showing up to therapy, thinking about my thoughts, thinking about my motivations, my what's, my whys, how, who, what, when, and where, and then learning how to sit in emotion and ask my emotions, what are you teaching me? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? And okay, what can I do with this how can I communicate this to myself, to other people, and make things work, you know? So my therapist kind of left me a couple of times. So the first time she left me, she went away because she had a baby. And I was like, what? That's crazy. At first I was like, oh snap, that's sad. Um, because I was like having fertility issues and I ain't have no business trying to have no kid out of wedlock. Anyway, but that's just whoever has that ministry, that's fine. It just thankfully did not work out for me in that way because I know that that would have been unhealthy to have a baby with the person that I was trying to have a baby with. Um, but at the time, she had told me, she was pregnant, and then she's like, I'm gonna set you up with a new therapist. We'll have a meeting together. Boom, she leaves. She goes and have her baby. I was like, what, girl? Congratulations. So then she like left for a good man, probably about 3 months. And in that time, I had like gone through really big losses. I broke up with my ex fiance. I lost my job because I got laid off. I had to start a new job. And so it was like a lot. And then my grandpa had passed away. I know I've talked about this time in my life, but I also lost my therapist at this time. And I had to create a new relationship with a new therapist. And that was tough. I mean, even though they worked at the same facility, their approaches were way different. My therapist, she was a woman of color. She wasn't black, but she was like a woman of color around kind of my age, maybe a little bit older. But then they placed me with like a white woman, like younger than me, and it just she was over here smiling all the time, and I'm like, I don't need you to smile when I'm sharing with you like tough times. I don't need you to be ha ha kikiing. Like I'm funny, and you can ha ha kiki, in the time that it's right. But right now, I need you to not laugh. I need you to focus and take the cues of when to laugh, when I'm making a joke, and when I'm just like, this is really vulnerable and I need you to handle this with care. And so we did get through it. While working with her, I learned a lot about my core values and how to stand in those core values and speak to those core values. But what ended up happening is Phoebe came back. Oh, I don't know if I can say her name. Her name's Phoebe. She came back, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to Phoebe. Sorry, girl, that I was working with. It's not a good fit for real, for real. Peace." So Phoebe comes back. Boom, we're in there like swimwear, doing a lot of work. Pandemic happens. Pandemic happens. Um, we go to virtual therapy sessions, and while they were dope and like I had that relationship already built with her, she was like, "Hey, Angela, I'm going to choose a new career. I just got a new job and it's in a whole new field. I want to spend more time with my daughter. So I'm going to be moving on. I have a couple of options for you. We can go ahead and assign you like a new person through your insurance, or we can go ahead and like um, look at some other things." And I just am in a place right now where I am having a hard enough time trying to establish these friendships and these relationships, social media wise. And what ended up happening is I just decided I need to spend some time with myself because I was feeling guilty. I'm like, man, I'm in therapy. I ain't gonna hold you as a free resource, and therapy's expensive, and I ain't trying to stretch my money thinner than I have to. And I've been doing a lot of my own work. I can use some resources, and what I miss most though is having a safe, non-judgmental space to share my thoughts, to bounce my ideas off of someone and just vent and have them just be supportive of me figuring things out. Not judging me as I'm figuring things out, but just being like, "Hey, here's a resource for you." And truly being a resource. And um I found myself, and I'm going to talk about this in another episode, talking about are you a safe space? But I found myself trying to make other people be my therapist, but not even like be on some therapy time, but be like a safe space, a non-judgmental zone. And that kind of set me back a couple of times with a few people. And y'all know I'm a wholehearted person, meaning I'm trying to love and be out here with my whole heart. I'm not trying to give you sections and fractions of me. This is me. Love me. Be patient with me. Support me. Endure through things. And they're just not able to, which is fine. Um, but it really made me say, did I make the right decision? But I'm like, nah, you good, fam. Because God keeps sending me people to give me the little nugget that I need to keep pushing through. The biggest reason why I didn't want to, and it kind of seems like kind of counterintuitive, because I'm facilitating relationships via social media, but I didn't want to teach someone how to be my therapist without meeting them. I think it's different when you're sharing such a vulnerable piece of you, um, to build up a relationship. And I just said, I don't have the capacity right now. With these other relationships, I can tell them no. At any time, I was like, no, I'm good. I can check out of this. I'm going to communicate and give them closure, tell them I need a break or whatever. But like when it comes to therapists where I'm potentially paying and really doing work on myself, I just said I can't do that right now. So it's not a leaving, it's just a pause. And I also wanted to focus on things like starting a vlog, planning some events, and also making this podcast more like going ahead and maybe starting a Patreon soon as I get some marketing and branding items out. Like I'm gonna do like an intro video. Let me know in the comments below what kind of intro I should do. I was thinking of doing something where it's like, hey, I'm gonna do a little acting. Hold on. And action. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Angela Elise, and this is my podcast. And then just talk about what the podcast is about. I'm not gonna give y'all the whole scene, but just talk about what the podcast is about. Maybe do some video of me like doing random things. I don't know, but I really don't want to do all that. But I'm gonna pray about it. I'm gonna think on it. Y'all let me know. So yeah, that's in the works. And I was like, I should write a book. And what's interesting is a woman reached out to me, and she was like, "Hey, do you write a vlog? Do you have creative writing skills?" And I'm like, I was thinking about doing that. So it just seems like where I'm headed is such a great place. And the great thing is, my therapist did give me some resources of women of color that she knows that do similar practices as she does. And so we're going to ride the wave when it's time to ride it. And I have a whole lot of faith in God, have a whole lot of faith in my ability to stand in whatever choice and the consequence of whatever choice I make and make it. Okay, so I'm just going to go off the top of the dome with the question because I was not able to find my book. So sorry, y'all. But I think what I want to talk about is what is my biggest motivator right now? And I would have to say my biggest motivator right now is to heal, to really heal, and also find a safe space. How can I be a safer space? And how can I better be safe in the spaces? So, what I mean is be a safe space as far as other people coming to me and not judging them and being an ear to them and being a support, not a yes person, but more so like a listening ear, compassionate heart. And to be safe, just learning how to better turn off and on my giving of myself. Not that it's a bad thing. And like one day, y'all, I'm gonna be able to give somebody all this love. It's waiting for you. But for now, just better being safe for me. Um, but yeah, speaking of B, that's in the podcast. So as always, be real, be you, do what you came here to do, and be the light that you want to see. Peace.
Things coming together so beautifully. One day it all makes sense. Just you wait and see. Take this journey with me purposely.